You will never get asylum in France if you're not prepared for every step of this challenging journey. This process is complicated, but it's possible if you understand what is expected of you. Let me not only tell you how to navigate this journey, but also share how I faced similar challenges when I went through the asylum process in the UK. In France, it's the same and even more. It takes even more enthusiasm and preparation to succeed. When I decided to leave my country, that decision was made in an instant. The fear for my life, freedom, and future became my daily companion. But honestly, I didn't know how to go through this process. You might be feeling the same way. My understanding was based only on stories. For example, about Yevgeny Chichvarkin, a well-known refugee from Russia. I thought that asylum was only for politicians, to high-ranking officials or public figures. My journey was far from perfect. At the first stage, I relaxed, thinking that the professionals knew everything for me. The legal company I trusted with my case operated on the principle of everything at the last minute. Sound familiar? If only I knew right away how to structure my story and what evidence I needed. I would have prepared the case myself and gotten asylum on the first try. But instead, I faced a rejection due to insufficient evidence for an important part of my story. I'm recording this video so that each of you can avoid my mistakes, to shorten the process of obtaining asylum and not waste years on appeals. This will allow you to get the coveted resident status faster, a full life, a work permit, and the ability to run a business. The opportunity to travel, and of course citizenship, becoming a full-fledged participant. Society in the new country? After receiving a positive result, I opened a business and visited 8 countries in 2 years. And now I'm living a full life. I want you to be able to do this too. I realize that the responsibility for success lies solely with the applicant. A lawyer is just a tool for submitting documents. He won't do everything for you. It's against the law. That is, who breaks this rule? Risk disqualification and criminal prosecution. And their clients face re-verification or even cancellation of their status. You will never get asylum if you don't take responsibility for the outcome into your own hands. You must independently understand the process and master the principles of preparing your story and evidence. Submitting the application. The asylum application process in France starts with the registration of the application itself. This is the first and fundamental step that determines the fate of your case. It's important not just to fill out the documents formally, but to convincingly explain the reasons why you cannot return to your home country. If you are applying at the border or at the airport, the French border police will pass your case on to the Office for Refugees and Stateless Persons, OFPRA. This is a key moment where it's important to clearly state all the reasons for your asylum request right from the start. If you are already in France, the application is submitted at the prefecture, where you will be directed to the SPEDA application reception platform. After that, you will gain access to the review process at OFPRA. This can take time, so it is important to have all the documents ready in advance and be prepared to tell your story in detail. The steps for applying include registering the application, submitting biometric data, and conducting an initial interview. During registration, your information is recorded. Biometrics help confirm your identity. The interview serves to document the key circumstances of your case. These steps lay the groundwork for the consideration of your application and give immigration authorities the opportunity to understand your situation. The application must be submitted as soon as possible after arriving in the country. A delay can negatively affect the perception of your case. To successfully submit your application, you will need your passport and other identification documents. Details. A detailed description of the reasons why you can't return to your country. Evidence of threats, such as threat letters, court summons, medical documents, and expert reports. The application is the foundation of your case. It's important to explain in detail why you left your country and what threatens you if you return. This is not just a formality. You are required to provide strong evidence. This is not just a formality. You are required to present strong evidence. You need to show that you have direct evidence to support your claims. And if such evidence is not available, you must prove that you tried to obtain it but faced obstacles. Demonstration of attempts. This is an important part of the case structure that fills in the gaps in your case and prevents immigration authorities from using them against you. Imagine you don't have to spend months meeting with lawyers, getting lost in endless revisions and racking your brain. How to properly write your story. We have created a revolutionary solution that trains a program for preparing a successful case and a unique AI model based on ChatGPT. All you need to do is literally tell your story to the artificial intelligence. It will write a beautiful text. It will clarify important facts and provide suggestions. What evidence do you need to gather? And the step-by-step video instructions will make the process simple and clear. You will receive video lessons for a complete understanding of all the stages of obtaining asylum and preparation, support from a curator 24/7, so you won't be left alone with your questions. A review of your case and documents by lawyers to ensure everything meets international standards, and access to artificial intelligence that will turn your story into a strong case and translate it into the necessary language for submission. In the end, you will receive your case according to all international standards. In just a few days, with the video instructions, you'll be able to submit your application and go through the submission process on your own. If you decide that you need a lawyer, we will send your case to the best attorneys for free, and you will choose the one who offers the best quality, price, and working conditions. Start free today. Follow the link in the description or scan the QR code to create your unique case. The code to create your unique case. Interview with immigration authorities. Friends, you will never get through the interview with the officer if you don't prepare your story down to the smallest details, and you won't show confidence in every word. When I reached this stage, it felt like Judgment Day. Every answer to questions about your past and the reasons for your escape must be consistent and truthful. The interview is the moment of truth. If there is a discrepancy in your story, it can undermine the trust in your case. One of the significant pieces of evidence can be an expert report about your country. The role of the expert report: an expert report is not just a document. This is the key to understanding your situation by immigration authorities and the court. An expert on your country, preparing this report, literally presents documented evidence of what is happening in your country and connects this to your asylum case. The expert acts as a witness in your process, responding to the Supreme Tribunal's requirements regarding expert evidence, and connects this to your asylum case. The expert acts as a witness in your process, responding to the Supreme Tribunal's requirements regarding expert evidence. The expert report plays a key role at every stage. At the application stage, it allows immigration authorities to see the real context of your story and your situation, to understand the seriousness of the threats you are facing. For example, a lawyer cannot be a witness and provide facts in your defense on their own behalf. He is there to defend you within the framework of the law, but an expert on the country can. He presents the court with specific documented facts, provides an assessment and their professional opinion based on experience, analysis, research, supported by statistics and references to authoritative sources, such as Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the UN, and many others. At the appeal stage, the expert report becomes a tool that helps correct the mistakes made in the previous review, to provide additional evidence and point out the shortcomings in the previous decision. The expert report can further clarify the context, refute erroneous conclusions made by immigration authorities, or point out new facts that were not previously considered. This makes your case more substantiated and convincing for the court. Or point out new facts that were not previously considered. This makes your case more substantiated and convincing for the court, just like for the immigration authorities. If you or your clients need evidence from an expert witness regarding your country, and you want to attach an expert report as key evidence, in the context of an asylum case, I am ready to help you. My name is Maxim Karitonov. I provide evidence for asylum applications in the form of professional expert reports. My services are in demand in the USA, UK, Canada, and EU countries. My achievements include over 100 successfully prepared reports for asylum applications. I am the recipient of the Expert Witness Award 2024, recognition as an expert in the EIN database electronic immigration network. I guarantee promptness, objectivity, and high quality. A response to inquiries within an hour, and the report preparation takes no more than 1 week. If you want to build a strong case and increase your chances of success, email us at info.thehumanrights.com or submit your application on the website thehumanrights.com. You can find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen right now. My goal is to protect the rights of applicants and help everyone get the protection they deserve. Write to us and order your expert report today. After the interview, the immigration authorities make a decision. They evaluate your evidence, your story, your expert report. If your application is approved, you receive refugee status or additional protection. But if your application is denied, it doesn't mean the end of the road. An appeal is your chance to correct it. Mistakes were made in the previous stage, and you can present additional evidence that may convince the court of your case. You need to show exactly where the immigration authorities or the judge made an error in their decision. Mistakes were made at the previous stage, and provide additional evidence that can convince the court that you are right. You need to show exactly where the immigration authorities or the judge made an error in their decision. This could be a misassessment of the evidence, ignoring key facts, or a misapplication of the relevant law. The court at the appeal stage not only considers your new evidence, but also checks how well-founded your claims are. For success, it's essential to provide clear and convincing arguments pointing out the mistakes that were made. The court at the appeal stage not only considers your new evidence, but also checks how well-founded your claims are. To succeed, it's essential to provide clear and convincing arguments pointing out the mistakes that were made. To present additional evidence that was not previously available, use the expert report to support your story and the context of the threats. This stage is particularly challenging. That's why the testimony of an expert witness in the form of an expert report and thorough preparation play a crucial role. If the appeal did not lead to a positive outcome, you have the option to file a petition with a higher authority, such as the Supreme Court. This stage is meant to address serious mistakes that may have been made. At the previous levels, however, it's important to understand that this is a complex process, requiring further examination of all previously submitted evidence and arguments. If you can't prove that there were procedural violations or mistakes in the application of the law in your case, there's a high likelihood of denial. So what should you do if your application is denied? There's a high likelihood of denial. What should you do if your application is denied? And here at this stage, a denial from the higher authority may seem like the end of the road. But there's still one more chance. You can only file a new asylum application if there are new circumstances. This could be the emergence of new evidence, changes in your situation, new threats in your country, new case, new challenges. Preparing a new case is a challenging task. You will have to not only argue the new circumstances, but also refute the conclusions from the previous denials. It's like a snowball effect. Each new application requires more effort and more detailed preparation. Why is it important to get asylum the first time? Each new stage is not only time-consuming, but also requires a huge amount of effort, resources, and emotions. It's best to prepare a strong case right from the start at the application stage. To do this, you need to study the process, understand the requirements, and work on the evidence in advance. This is exactly the approach. It helps to cut down years of waiting and brings you closer to the coveted goal of obtaining status and starting a new life in your country. Safety.